Kept you... Come on. Kept you waiting, huh?
All right. Table talk for Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Started with the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on the PS3. Authentic, actual hardware for the PS3. And ended it on RPCS3. How'd you think?
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I liked it a lot, and now that I have played every single Big Boss game, and I played every single Big Boss game, and I know his thing, and I know the thing. Yeah, no, I really like Peace Walker. I mean, I could gripe about this. Yeah, they're building another platform already. I could gripe about the fact that there's formatting issues and the fact that it's clearly a portable game, like. It's one of those things where we still got to where I wanted to go story-wise, gameplay-wise, all that jazz. Even if I had to zigzag through a neighborhood and make 17 stop signs to get to the place we had to do, it's like, at least when I was going from stop sign to stop sign, I could crouch walk. The shooting was a lot better. Most of it was voice acted and all that jazz. And stuff like that, like I don't mind the stop and go kind of thing. It sure as shit would have been faster if it just was a little bit bigger or more formatted that way, I guess. But like I really didn't mind it at all. What matters is the gameplay. Yeah, and I could tell, just like when I was playing through 3, and I kept making the noodle slurp thing whenever they were talking. I was like, they were definitely trying to do the same thing, like just like any other Kojima game. They were doing it here. I think it was pretty good. There was a lot of moments in there. I did have my gripes, as you could probably remember from some of the story plots that I was saying, where it was just like, why does Boss have to go through this? Why is everybody treating Big Boss like shit? I thought even if he wasn't like 100% sure about why the boss did what she did at the end of 3, I can't believe that he's just like, I have no idea, not even in the slightest, why she could possibly make that choice. Like, not even in the I felt like in the fight, you kind of figured it out.
Yeah, they kind of...
Like I feel like Kojima stretched this out.
I feel like they regressed
to make another plot beat. They were like, what if we need to have another thing on the way for Big Boss to be the thing that he is. So Boss needs to be in this mindset for it to happen. So he's got to regress a little bit. Because it's like, okay. Those parts, didn't like so much. Everything else...
I get that he was a little bit traumatized at, having lost his mentor, the person that he trusted the most.
And his government said that she was a traitor, and she's in the books as a disgraced soldier. Yeah. She got no honor for what she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that he had that, but I mean, at the end, at the end of 3, I never really got the sense that he was, how can I say it? He was confused at why she did what she did. He didn't fully, I respect that he didn't fully understand her reasonings because he just wasn't there yet. He was still literally a child in comparison to the boss, but I don't think that he misunderstood her reasoning behind it.
Yeah,
even if he didn't fully understand why, I think he was still able to. At the end of 3, it made it feel like no. I respect what you're doing. You were trying to do something. You didn't quite get there. and I want to continue that. I think the fact that he was continuing all of this that turns into the MSF is because of he understood what the boss wanted. So I think like him being so traumatized, it is a little bit PTSD, and I think he was. I don't think it was he didn't understand it. I think it's more he has PTSD over the fact of what the boss did.
Yeah, but like he said in multiple times, especially when it's like, oh, this AI has every one of her memories. Every time, every single chance he got, he was like, why did you do it? And it's like, sure, it'd be great if you got a straightforward answer, but like you know what the answer is.
Yeah.
And then he still asked it 5 times or something like that through the entire course of the game.
Yeah, it's
like,
not great.
It's whatever. That's the only gripe I can really say with the story was that part. Everything else, MSF, what you're doing with the rebels, the thing about nuclear deterrence, all that stuff, great. Volgan in the rest of the Cobra Squad or whatever, better villains than what we were getting here in Peace Walker. Our villains are tanks and helicopters.
Yeah.
And also mashing triangle. Those are the bosses in this game.
I
liked fighting Zeke more than I liked fighting Peace Walker, but I feel like I would have liked fighting Peace Walker more probably if I had better guns.
If Peace Walker wasn't just such a bullet sponge, just a soaking pool of damage, I think that would be better. I think if this game, it's built on the same engine as Monster Hunter, and I think they forgot one specific thing in like the Peace Walker fight, in that if you're by yourself, you need to make that those damage thresholds, the amount of HP it has, how much damage it's taking off. You need to lower those. If you want to make it harder, like in Monster Hunter games, like, oh, you have 4 hunters on this fight, yeah, this monster is going to be harder. If you're solo, it's not as hard. I think they didn't do that with this. That's what it felt like with the Peace Walker fight. The last fight you did against Zeke
was more fun because I don't know if Gwyntalis was actually dealing 80% of the damage or whatever, but Zeke was more fun because Zeke was more mobile. There was much more going on. It was on our platform, so we had extra things that we can do to it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to experience that whole Zeke was trying to step on me thing, but I was watching Gwyntalis do that. I was like, this is a fun fight.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's going on here. Peace Walker was like, the fun part about it was the stress of like every single time they were just like, you know what? Fuck trying to deal with you. I'm preparing the nuke again. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
That was stress. I like that. That was fine. But the gameplay was really good. The gameplay was really good. I really liked sneaking around. You saw in, I'm sure, many of those moments when you were editing, those times where it's just like it just clicked with me and I just walked around a corner, knew this guy was there, walked out of his field of vision, threw him, held him up, threw him off a thing or whatever, and I just did that. Man, once I started getting to that point in Phantom Pain, it was like everything felt immediately better. And I felt the lesser version of that playing Phantom Pain, where I was like, this is good, this is still too small and tight for me to feel super grandiose about it. And the tiny detail of still in Phantom Pain, oh, they're wearing full suits of armor and helmets, and I am still the big boss, and I can still tranquilize them by shooting them in the face. That, on a small scale, still makes me feel like the big boss, because it's like, that's a 1 in a million shot kind of thing. That's a hard thing to do sometimes. And I was able to do it because I'm the big boss.
What I am finding with seeing your play style a lot is that you like to rely on shooting a lot, and you don't CQC as much.
I think it was about 60% shooting, 40% CQC. Because you saw me CQC plenty of times. You have plenty of shots of me CQCing multiple people in Peace Walker. And it's like...
Yeah.
It's like, I tried to CQC because it's fun to CQC people in this game. It was really hard to get a handle on how to do what Gwyntalis was doing, where it's like he grabbed somebody and then he threw him into the wall for an extra hit or whatever, or held him up. Like, I keep forgetting how to do the actually just hold him up. Because I'll walk up sometimes and just be like, I'm going to grab this guy. and Snake will just grab him and immediately toss him over his shoulder. And I'm like,
neutral. It's a neutral stick.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was not neutral.
You have to go up to him, let
stick go.
come. You have to let Snake come to a complete stop. Then you hold that, and then you don't touch the stick at all.
I think in Phantom Pain, it's just like if you just hold it down, you're holding him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the direction the stick is. If you're holding it down, you're holding him at that point.
If you grab them in the Phantom Pain as you're still holding the stick and then release the stick, you have the animation process to release the stick. This one, it reads what direction the stick is, and if it's anything but neutral, it will go immediately into a throw.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of great bones for where this game would go in the future with Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes.
Mm-hmm. No, he had a vision of what he wanted MGS5 to be. I don't care what he said about, I'm not going to make another, because he says it every single time. I'm assuming he did it for Peace Walker, where he's like, I'm never going to make another Metal Gear Solid game. And then when he was forced to do it again, he was like, you know what? Everything that we were doing in Peace Walker, let's just do it better. Let's just do it better. And I like it. Everybody was there. Again, another one of the biggest selling points that was like, man, this game would hit so much different if for some reason I had not played MGS5 and I did play this first. You saw me through the entire story. It was like, none of this matters. So many people are not who they say they are. Some people turn out to be monsters.
If you didn't,
oh my god,
if you had if you had no prior knowledge, though, I think
this would have felt weird, and I definitely would have been shocked going into 5.
You see some shock going into 5, but I think the problem with Peace Walker and its portrayal of some characters is that they start feeling hollow.
What do you mean?
Huey doesn't feel fully fleshed out. Dr. Strangelove seems one note. The bad guys in this, be it Zadornov or Coldman, we didn't get, and we didn't go through every single little tape there was, but it didn't feel like the best Kojima boss fights where they have these grand monologues throughout the entire game. They had their grand monologues, but it was very, very brief moments that you got to actually interact with these characters. They didn't feel nearly as fleshed out as, say,
Skullface.
Not Skullface. MGS3 Electric guy. Volgan. Yeah. Volgan.
The boss.
Eve. The boss.
Ocelot.
All of these characters, all the main bad guys in this game felt more akin to, I saw the end. I saw the pain. It was the boss, one-off fights.
The bosses and the main antagonist thing, yes. I do see what you mean by the supporting cast, because it's like, maybe he knew when he was doing Peace Walker that he was going to eventually, like, this was just something to do, and then he was like, fuck it, we're going to do 5. Because, like, maybe that's what was going on with it, because like you said, it was like, they were kind of there, but, like, they also, there is the tapes. The tapes probably would have fleshed them out a lot.
Tapes probably flesh out quite a bit. I hate
but it's
when I despise when they say, well, all the stories in the audio logs. Like, if you need it to be, if you want it to be the primary story, don't put it in an audio log. Put it in the game itself where people are going to interact with it directly. If you want to say, I have such a great story, I have such great characterization, put that in front of the players. Even if that is in cutscenes, I'd still prefer cutscene versus, it's the fact that to get to those tapes, you have to go into a mission, go into a submenu, and then a separate submenu. And then all of those are broken out into their own submenus.
That's one of those things where it's like, because it was a PSP, I'm sure it had an audio jack. You hook up your audio jack, you're driving to work or you're riding to work or whatever, put the headphones on. And you just run through the cassette tapes doing that. That feels like a PSP kind of thing. Because, again, Phantom Pain, that stuff that we learned in Phantom Pain, we just turned on the cassette tape and played the game. That's why people like the audio whatever they're called specifically in Bioshock. Because every time you pick up a thing or whatever, it doesn't stop you. You pick it up, the audio log of somebody else who did something in Rapture, and it plays on the thing on your
Yeah.
headset thing, and you hear it, and you're going through. Cool. I think it was like I was watching a Game Ranks top 10. I think it was like top 10. Why is this still something that people cannot fucking understand when making a game? And I think it was like number 8 or number 7. They were just like, why the fuck do you pause everything just so I can listen to an audio log? If I walk it up to, it wasn't even like that. It was like they were citing some other game where it was like, I think it was maybe Dead Space or something like that. Where it's like, gotta walk up to the thing. There's a tablet on the whatever, or it's Resident Evil. And it's like, and I hit the thing, and then the audio plays, and it's like, oh, it's a proximity audio thing that's playing here, so I can't walk away from this thing.
Well, it's diegetic because he's supposed to be coming out of. It's
I
it's
forgot what game it
frustrating.
was, but it's
It-
like,
that's the Dead
if
Space
this is your
remake.
story,
I ran into that with the Dead Space remake.
fine. Just get the thing, plug it into the whatever, have the guy listen to it. He was like, I assure you, players can still digest what you're saying, and they don't have to sit still. Maybe that's going to go away sooner or later because we got people who have no attention spans because of TikTok and all that stuff. Fine.
I say that I think audio logs are a fine tool, but they have been played out way too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sick of audio logs being the primary way of giving story.
Well,
I think the primary way of giving story should
giving
be
supplemental story. Supplemental?
I think the primary use of audio logs is world building. I don't think anything related to the main plot or if you want to go into the main backstory of the characters, I think that should be something brought more present into it. I don't think that is a place for an audio log. If we take into account the some of the tapes that we're going to see in The Phantom Pain, everything to do with Codemaster and the burger, that's great for an audio log. That's great for a cassette tape. Everything where they're explaining what the boss is, who the people that you're fighting are, what Miller is doing, that should be at least a cutscene or something that they're talking to you on the codec in the middle of primary missions.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of these logs in here, because they were talking about like the Legend of the Basilisco, and here's some information, stuff like that. You could say, Ayo, this is stuff that's related to the story. It's like, though they're talking about stuff from the story, it's not needed for the story presentation. That's why I was saying,
all right, but
supplemental stuff is fine in the thing. All these audio logs right now, I'm going to tell you right now, none of this is going to change the plot or what's going on. All this is to add flavor. If I actually listened to everything that Chico had to say, I would probably have a better understanding about who Chico
wouldn't
is.
it be better and cooler if Chico just called you on a mission as you're sneaking around and he's telling, like, half the stuff that Chico is talking about in these mission briefings is like, oh, there's this thing. Unless you're taking the time ahead of the mission to listen to all the mission briefings, which is the format that they expect you to do, wouldn't it be better if they say, hey, instead of just putting this in a menu hidden away before you start the mission, why not have Chico call you in the mission itself and explain those things that are relevant to that mission?
Oh, look, Chico talks about the Island Monstrosio. That's interesting. Yeah, every mission has the thing. It just depends on what they're talking about. If they're doing this thing where they're like, oh, by the way, talk about
what I'm saying, like, if he wants to talk about monsters and that does not relate to any mission, fine. I'm fine with that being off onto the side. But I'm saying the thing where he says, like, they have the mission briefings where it's like, hey, there is this thing in this mission. You should be aware of that. There is this dam that is old and rickety. Oh, there's 2 levels to it though, so maybe you can stink around that way. I bet that is in these mission briefings. You know what they didn't do? They didn't give that to you ahead of time, or they didn't give that to you within the mission itself. They say that's in a menu that you can easily miss going throughout this entire game. They should have had calls, which they have Miller do it all the time as you're in a mission. Why not have Chico calling me like, hey, Snake, let me tell you about the area that you're going into. Let me tell you about the surrounding area that you're going into. They have those happen, but they don't do it nearly enough, and they put that all off to the side. I think that is a terrible way to do it.
I think it works fine for gameplay, for talking about the geographical locations and stuff like that. Yeah, it would have been cool to get. It would have been cool to get that kind of stuff, but it's like, I forgot what they said about the communication thing, because it's like when we're out in a mission,
it's one way.
It's one way. All they can do is just talk to me.
Yeah, which is great for Chico because you no longer have a thing where Snake can be like, hey, I need to get off the phone right now because I'm really sneaking. Chico's just yapping away in your ear.
It would have been funny.
It would have been a better characterization for all of the side characters. Because we never looked at these briefing files, Paz was a nothing character. Miller was an okay character because he was the most talkative there. Chico is a nothing character. Amanda is a nothing character. Huey's a nothing character in Peace Walker. Until you see them in specific cutscenes, all of their backstories, all of the interesting things are in briefing files. I think that's a terrible place to make them live.
Oh yeah, no, you can call people on the codec. You just have to turn it on. That's right. I saw that in the menus.
Yeah.
I could see you have a lot of strong opinions.
I think it's... I really like this game because it sets up a lot of great things going forward with the Metal Gear, but it also sets up some terrible decisions that I really disagree with.
I mean, how does he do it in Death Stranding? Do you have cassette tapes?
He gives you an email. It's not even audio logs half the time. It's emails.
Wow.
I really dislike it.
Yeah, Kojima's just not the best at making a really smooth game overall.
Yeah. Some of the best content is in those emails in Death Stranding. And some of the best content, like literally some of the best content in the Phantom Pain is in those cassette tapes. And I bet some of the best content, some of the best content that we will never see because I refuse to do it is probably in these briefing files. It's a terrible place to do it. It's a terrible decision, and it's a terrible way to make your game. If you're going to put this much effort into these kind of characters and this kind of setting and put that much into their backstory, put that forward into the game somehow. So, be it through a cutscene, be it through a one-way conversation, be it through a walk. I would prefer a walk and talk instead of just having a side menu with a side menu with a side menu.
So like how they characterize the assassins in No More Heroes?
Yes. Exactly. That is such a
whether
better
they
way.
told you beforehand, during the fight, or after the fight.
Yes.
You learned about every single one of those assassins.
And guess what we didn't have to do in No More Heroes? We didn't have to do it in No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2, No More Heroes 3, or Travis Strikes Again. We never had to go into a dossier file and look it up and be like, oh, wow, that's why they were the 7th best assassin on the planet. Oh, wow, let's look at Mr. Butts. Or
the only backstory that we didn't get was Avenging Bishop and No More Heroes 2.
Yeah, because we fucked up.
But yeah, no.
But I was never wanting in those games for, I wonder about this assassin. Oh, I wonder what Charlotte's deal is. Charlotte got fleshed out in the game itself. It put itself forward because they're like, this is our interesting content. We're going to put it in front of you. Kojima says, I have all this interesting content. Work for it.
The worst offender, and I say the worst offender with an asterisk saying, I still enjoyed it. I don't care if you're going to pull up the VOD to disprove me about it. The MS-DOS cutscenes, better than this.
Yes, because guess what?
They were at least flavorful.
You had to interact with it, and they were putting it forward to you. They weren't saying, go look at this side menu. That completely missable. You don't even have to look at this stuff to do this. The Zadornov stuff, like, if they had started to say, like, if I didn't look through the walkthrough and be like, hey, go to mission 001 to find the doorknob, and then Kaz was like, maybe we can find something in the mission files, Snake. None of that was in this game. The way you find the files of the doorknob is pure luck, or you go to
maybe he drops a hint. Maybe no, I don't know. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be?
No, there's nothing in this game that tells you go to the first mission. That is purely luck, and that is purely playground talk.
Okay, what's the one hint?
What is the one hint?
Well, now I'm actually curious. I was like, there has to be one hint. It can't be pure luck. There has to be one hint, because it's like somebody has to say he didn't make it off of Mother Base, and that doesn't narrow it down. But that does narrow it down. Not by a lot. But if somebody said he still hasn't left. Unless you sit at the start menu. Okay, that is pretty Kojima.
That's so... I am... That's not helping me. That's not helping me. That's not helping this game, in my opinion. I like this game.
So wait, that means if I go back to it, is it just there now, or is it just if it was in the thing the whole time? That would be so fucking funny.
The thing is, I like this game. I like where it's going. I hate.
You just don't like how Kojima's.
I hate the execution.
You don't
of
like
it.
the Kojima.
I hate the execution of it.
Yeah, no, Kojima just does this. So it's like if you don't like it, then you don't like the Kojima-ness of it all. To be honest. Which is fair. Kojima is not for everybody.
I think old Kojima is better than new Kojima.
The more he kept being taken off the reins.
Here's the thing. New Kojima insists upon himself. And I hate it.
Oh, man. Shoot in the shooting range, which you wouldn't really recognize if you hadn't played the scene before.
Oh, my God.
That's great, actually.
It does not help.
That is, like, because I remember when I was first starting to play all of all of these Metal Gear games, I thought the same thing too, where I was like, you guys are up your own asses.
It was fun being up your own ass in Metal Gear Solid 1, though. It was so fun.
No, I'm saying, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, you guys are up your own ass, especially when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 1. I was like, you guys are so full of it. It's ridiculous. But then when I kept playing more of it, I was like, oh my God, I fucking love this.
I think the peak of it is Metal Gear Solid 4. I honestly think the peak of everything...
The outrageousness? Dog, don't sit on the controller. I'm trying to watch Zornov shoot at the shooting range.
The peak of Ultimate Kojima-ness was in Metal Gear Solid 4. But it's...
Keep talking. I'm going to look for it.
No. I can't be the only one talking. My voice is... You can hear it in my voice. It is so bad.
Okay, God.
Yeah. Seeing that is so annoying. But, yeah. What was your favorite mission in the game? What was your favorite part?
Oh, yeah. No.
What was your top part?
Okay, yeah. I forgot what the longest mission that we did. I think it was when we were infiltrating... the base, not exfiltrating the base because the alarms were on the whole time.
Was this before you had to get the key card or after?
I think it was the first time because I think it was
when you go underground.
The underground part was really fun.
Okay.
I think I like both that.
Because I know you really liked the underground because you were like, oh wow, this feels like Metal Gear.
It finally clicked. Like I did a bunch of clicking things before that, but it was like. It really clicked around that time, and that was near the end of the game. I think it was just both those missions were fucking fantastic for me.
Yeah.
It really clicked right before that, and then I put it into practice for those missions where they just couldn't see me at all most of the time. I just handled it. No, not the fine. I think it was after the key card. It was after you
I think it was after,
used the key card to get in, infiltrating that, and then you had to exfiltrate, and then you had to fight the giant tank thing.
What was your least favorite mission?
Whatever that thing was that I had to button mash my way out of. That was my least favorite moment of all time for this game. Least favorite mission, it's like...
I thought you were I thought you were for sure going to say, like, that date with Paws on the beach. You were so creeped out with that.
I don't even count that as a thing, because A, I didn't finish it, and B, we never got it to work properly.
So the way that you do that is
you told me.
You have to set affirmative sayings in the multiplayer commands.
Just go over there. Go over there. You're a dog. Go over there. No, that because I don't even count that as a mission. That's why it doesn't count as a thing. It's like
you also eventually get a date with Miller.
That was the only reason why I would consider doing the date with Paz, so I could do the date with Miller. The Assassin's Straw Box. I don't think I did that one either. Yeah, fuck Cause.
But we don't know to fuck Cause yet.
No, we know because he lied about the thing. He's like, I lied so I could get all this stuff. I was like, yeah, but like, Big Boss didn't want to do any of this, and he just kept strong arming him the whole fucking time.
Big Boss wanted to do this on a smaller scale. He wasn't ready for the magnifying glass.
But Cause wanted it, and he made him do it.
Yeah, it was because of Cause that you lead into the events of Ground Zeroes.
Yep. Even Huey was the one who invited the inspection team. I was like, no, that was Skullface's bullshit. Right? I'm not throwing that on Huey at all. There is no like.
How'd you like the different versions of?
They were all great. I liked how they were all different. We had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. We had a flying one,
which was just the what the fuck was it called?
The Shagohod.
The Shagohod. It was just the Shagohod, but small
and faster.
I don't know. The Shagohod could go pretty fast.
Had to use those drill arms to do it. The flying one was great. I like the giant armored fortress one. That was ridiculous. Peace Walker, like I like the Peace Walker fight. If it wasn't much of a damage sponge, it'd be crazy.
I did not like the
design
design of Peace Walker.
I like, dude, dog. I'm trying to have my hand over here. Just calm down. I like the design of the Peace Walker. I like that it transformed to the forward. Like I like that whole situation. I just wish it didn't take so long to kill.
Yeah.
And I like the Zeke fight. It was great.
I think the Zeke's was the most interesting to watch at the very least.
And that's not just saying because they actually had a really good song for it. The other ones had like, I'm fighting a thing song. And then they had the it's a peak fucking boss fight whenever fucking it's like, oh, and then cue the Latin lyrics or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
I didn't really
but like there's no like for me there's no what was the worst mission? It's like I still had fun in every single mission. There was moments that I didn't have fun, and by that I mean the moment I didn't have fun.
Yeah.
Where I almost broke the PS3 controller. But, like, that was just a moment. There was no bad missions. Like, none of them sucked because they were just so small and bite-sized. Like, none of them really... Yeah. But, like, in terms of best, it was like sneaking into the actual big base was absolutely my most fun time. Okay, worst mission? Anytime I had to fight a fucking APC or a tank. Because fighting an AI drone, way more fun. Helicopter was still more fun than fighting a tank or an APC for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe they have less HP because they're a fucking helicopter. But yeah. I think Coldman was fine, but he definitely was
he was nothing.
Right. He was a threat, but he also just like was nothing.
Twice. He appeared when he threw he appeared when he threw Huey down the stairs, and again when we shot him and he died on the helicopter.
No. He showed up when Huey threw down the stairs. We ran into him when I snuck into the base, and then he had that whole thing, and then we shot him, and then he had that whole thing on the helicopter about him still activating the thing, and then he had his Kojima spiel. Yeah, no, he was all right. I'm not saying he was great. I'm just saying he didn't suck, but we've seen better.
Yeah,
we've seen better. That's fine. But yeah, no, I like it. In terms of the...
Where would you rank this in...
Overall or Big Boss Trilogy?
Big Boss Trilogy.
Big Boss Trilogy? Man. Fuck. This has to be at the bottom then. But even the suckiest Metroid is still a 7. Like, you know what I mean? I still think it's probably 3-5 in Peace Walker then.
How would you rank it overall?
Overall, it's like it's been too long since I played 2. I feel like this beats 2 gameplay wise.
Okay.
2 probably beats it story wise.
Not a high bar. I gotta be as someone that just ran through 2. It's not a high bar.
I think story wise 2 probably beats Peace Walker.
Did you ever do Twin Snakes?
Yeah, I have it on my GameCube. I kind of fucked around with it a little bit. I mentioned it to you before. It's like it's the same thing, but it's like because it happens after 2 in terms of being developed.
Mm-hmm.
All they did was like make it so like instead of Snake being out here, even though he's already done both Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2, he's a fucking ninja in Twin Snakes for some fucking reason for every single cutscene. It's like why is anything a threat to this guy?
Yeah.
Like nothing should be a threat to this guy compared to what he was doing in the PS1 version of the game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd probably go if the whole thing was put together. Let's see.
How'd your setting of like being in Costa Rica?
No, I like that. That
You
was
like
fine.
that?
That was fine. I wish the maps were had a little more elbow room, but they had a good variety of shit that we were doing in South America.
The fact that it was
Or
on a
Central
PSP, that was all originally developed on a PSP, not even a full-blown console.
Mm-hmm.
The PSP, not even a Vita. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yeah, no, they had jungles. They had night missions. They had ruins. They had installations. They had beaches. They had mountainous areas. They had a lot of things. They had a lot of good things. In terms of overall, just coming off the top of my head, I'd probably say 3, 4, 5, 1. Peace Walker 2. Right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Putting only an iota of thought into it. Not to say I don't like 2, but I didn't watch everything that this guy did through 2, but when I watched him play through 2, I was like,
rough.
I remember things
rough.
about this game.
The vamp fight is rough.
I remember things about this game. Hoo boy. And then having
Ray
watched him go
fight.
through 1, I was like,
The Ray fight is rough.
having watched him go through 1 and stuff like that, I was like,
1 was rough.
One was a bit rough, but it was like the kind of jank that you just kind of got used to.
You got used to, yeah.
2, it's like they really expect you to know what you were doing.
Yeah.
Even though it's been a long enough time since I played 2 in the same relation to playing 4, like I said earlier or whatever, I was like, I definitely very much still remember 4. Love it or hate it, I remember 4 a lot, and I've only played it once.
I know I can get 4 running on the PS3. I don't know the state of 4 on RPCS3 right now. Last I heard, it had a few major hiccups in it. So I'm like, I'd rather have a relatively smooth experience from what I remember on the 3 instead of, it looks sharper and it looks, it runs at 60, but it's still kind of iffy on the emulator side.
I think my vote is still, if you do want to keep playing more Metal Gear, I say we just say, let's keep rolling chronologically, and just, if you want it more, we'll do Delta, because we've already got it rolling. We can do Delta, and then when we're done with that, we can just do...
I figured we'll run through Delta again. If we don't want to start Ground Zeroes, I was thinking Delta, Ground Zeroes, at the end of Ground Zeroes, maybe Twin Snakes, because I have that emulator, I have that ROM, we can emulate that easily enough, and then Phantom Pain, and then end on 4.
Yeah. I think it's a fine order. We'll figure out if we... At least Twin Snakes is short.
Yeah, Twin Snakes, I hope...
It's going to be short, and also it's going to be shorter because the controls are better, and you can just fuck around.
Well, the controls are exactly what 2 is.
Yeah. But that breaks 1. That
breaks 1, but they also had... I'm hesitant on Twin Snakes.
No, that's what I'm saying. We'll figure out if we're going to actually do it or not. But no, that was fun. So that means...
Overall, would you suggest this game to someone to go out of their way and get it? Or if it's only in their way to play it? Avoid it entirely?
I say if they're actually enjoying the Metal Gear series and they have any interest in the Big Boss story, I say play it. I say play it. I also heavily suggest, because it just exists for a lot of other things. Why wouldn't it exist for this? See if there's a mod for this. Let's see what the mod does for this. I don't know what the mod could be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and give a 10-minute lesson of what I would
I
want
don't
out
know
of a mod.
how easy it is to mod PS3 games that are emulated.
No, I'm saying even if you got to fucking mod the PSP game or whatever, just fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
I would say mod it.
I think this game lends a lot of credence to the Big Boss mythos.
Oh yeah, no.
Of where
Everything that he does in this thing, I understand why people deify him in 5.
And yeah, going into 5, if you don't know the events of this and you had only played 3, or like you, where you hadn't played 3 at all, you're like, why is everyone blowing smoke up this guy's ass? After playing 3, you're like, oh wow, this guy's pretty cool, but why is everyone so in love with him? After this, you're like, oh yeah, people flock to this man.
Yeah, no, that's just how it goes when you handle like this shit like this. Like when he was just saying, he was like, we're gonna have a target on our backs. I was like, what I heard was that people will know what he did here, and if people hear about what he did here, whether it's 1970s shaky camera footage, people are gonna see that and be like, no goddamn shot.
Yeah.
I want to work for that guy. I don't work for a pencil-necking pencil pusher in his office. I want to work for that guy.
Yeah.
Like, if a giant mech bursts into my office, he'll be there to help me out with it. All right, cool. That was fun, though. It was really fun.
Thank you guys for coming out.